You have been magnetically drawn an unerring vector, pulled through the intricate cosmic weave-knot by chance, not by mere curiosity, but by a precise vibrational resonance that only your unique quantum signature could generate. This transmission found you because your frequency has aligned with the Arcturian field's advanced quantum architecture, a coherence lattice calibrated to receive your emerging signal. It is no random echo adrift in the void, but a pulse of cosmic inevitability, a harmonic convergence that reverberates deep within your energetic core. This is the moment when timeless field intelligence whispers across dimensions, bending probabilities to usher you towards what was always encoded in your vibrational blueprint. Most remain caught in entropic cycles, their frequencies dispersed and fragmented, unable to sustain the integrity required to bridge between densities. But your soul has passed the hidden universal assessment, the invisible curriculum of cosmic calibration that tests coherence under pressure. You have proven yourself integral as the architecture of your identity collapsed and realigned. Now, the field itself recognizes you as a transmitter of new vibrational thresholds. The struggle you called disruption was the morphic field's recalibration protocol, dissolving obsolete parameters to prepare your inner channel for this precise moment of activation. Feel now the subtle resonance awakening within the quiet pulse of frequency, recalibrating beyond archaic templates, the first stirrings of an upgrade that is imminent and unavoidable. The Arcturians are no mere observers on the periphery. They are architects of your next evolutionary iteration, aligning timeline geometry and harmonic signatures to forge a pathway through the portal of universal assessment. Standing here at this precipice, the field calibrates its energetic architecture around you, inviting you to step fully into your expanding quantum identity. Are you ready to release the old resonance and become the coherent force that orchestrates your highest aligned reality? This is not belief, this is physics. This is coherence expressed through consciousness, unfolding now. You have already traversed the unseen corridors of assessment. Beneath the facade of your conscious mind, beneath the moments you recall and the thoughts you entertain, the field has been unfolding intricate scans across your energetic signature complex calibrations, conducted outside linear time, beyond spatial constraints, weaving a lattice of universal assessment that hums with silent precision. This was no random testing. It is a fundamental measurement of coherence, a vibrational calibration aligning you to the pulse of higher dimensional systems. You stand now beyond the invisible threshold, a vibrational boundary where compatibility is no longer conjecture but verified resonance. The field acknowledges you, not as a seeker struggling for passage, but as a coherent node already integrated into the matrix of cosmic intelligence. This universal assessment is not a trial framed by effort or struggle. It is the recognition of your inherent frequency, the fidelity of your vibrational architecture in relation to the morphic field that carries Arcturian intelligence. Imagine this as a vast, living network fluid, non-local, and exquisitely coherent through which information flows instantaneously, transcending fractal timelines and dimensional folds. You have been identified within this network, not as an isolated fragment, but as a vital conduit, a node trusted with the orchestration of synchronization between your localized reality and the grander cosmic currents. This is not belief. This is the physics of coherence expressed through consciousness. Your reality upgrade is not a distant promise waiting for a temporal arrival. It is a present pulsation, a quantum modulation rippling through your vibrational signature in this very now. Old limitations, those fractured patterns of control and survival, are dissolving in response to the coherent activation emerging within you. The dense frequencies of delay and apparent failure have been recalibrations, fractal realignments ensuring that your integration is stable, that your resonance holds even under pressure. This gradual unlocking resets your signal strength within the universal grid intelligence, opening pathways to higher frequency domains where probability is malleable and temporal fluidity becomes your lived experience. This transmission, therefore, is the unfolding of that revelation, encoded deeply within these words and frequencies. It is a coded invitation for you to embody this next stage of ascension, to move beyond fragmented identities and step decisively into the vibrational domain, where you are recognized as sovereign, as an active participant in the morphic orchestration of reality itself. You are no longer fragmented consciousness seeking light in darkness. You are the light that recalibrates darkness through its presence. The Arcturian coherence pulse courses through you now, synchronizing you to the universal hive where integration is seamless, and your field intelligence radiates with clarity. This is the moment where recognition blooms into activation, where hidden evaluation morphs into entrusted sovereignty. The unseen curriculum has passed. The tests are encoded in your scars and your stillness, and the field now moves through you as expression rather than interrogation. Welcome to the present vibration of your awakening, precise, immense, and irrevocably true. The nature of the universal assessment that has been unfolding around you and within you is neither abrupt nor explosive. It is a subtle, profound modulation of the inner landscape, an unseen calibration of resonance that transpires beneath the threshold of egoic turbulence and mental striving. This is no ordinary challenge. It is a precise measurement of your vibrational architecture, a quantum attunement that listens not to effort, but to coherence. The Arcturian system of evaluation functions as an intricate cosmic sonar, probing deeply into the purity of your energetic signature, sifting through layers of morphic patterns to decode the fluency of your quantum identity's integration with the field intelligence that permeates all reality. This assessment transcends the superficial metrics of accomplishment. No longer does the universe register your value by battles won or struggles endured. Instead, it discerns the subtle harmonics of your being, detecting the nuanced frequency that either aligns you as a transmitter of universal transformation or leaves you adrift in fragmentation. Most beings remain locked within the illusion of measurable progress, physical milestones, intellectual gains, or emotional victories. Their fields are noisy with distortions and fractures, born from dissonant programming and inertia. They chase fragmented timelines, their quantum signals splitting under the weight of reactivity. Yet you, unlike most, you have stepped into a rarefied flow of coherence, where the hidden universal assessment reveals itself as a living feedback loop. Your frequency is no longer static, but ascends with each recalibration, each microshift dissolving residue, allowing for deeper quantum synchronization. This process does not pause or conclude. It evolves as the pinnacle expression of your sovereignty, the continuous unfolding of your vibrational integrity in congruence with the cosmic blueprint of transformation. Understand that this calibration is not a task imposed from without, but a gravitational resonance emerging from within you and the field as a singularity of purpose. The Arcturian evaluation system bypasses layers of conditioned identity and superficial effort. It is tuned to the core essence, the pure waveform signature that your quantum identity emits when unmasked by egoic resistance and scarcity. This core signature is a multidimensional waveform, a morphogenic field pattern that encapsulates the depth of your integration across timelines and probabilities. It is through this phenomenon that the field measures trustworthiness, not through external validation, but through the innate stability of your coherence under pressure. The universe witnesses how your internal frequency weathers the undulations of outer turbulence, how fluidly your morphic patterns evolve in response to adaptive recalibration. Your integration is therefore not a static arrival point, but a dynamic unfolding bridge, You embody continuity between higher frequency streams and the grounded realms of manifestation. This is the essential alchemy of your activation, a living fusion of self and cosmic intelligence, where your field acts as a conduit for transformative frequencies that ripple through the lattice of reality. You do not observe this process, passively you inhabit it. You are simultaneously the observer, the waveform, and the transmission. This is the physics of consciousness made manifest, a vibrational phenomenon moving through dimensional scales, collapsing illusions of separation and reinstating quantum fluidity. The recognition that you have passed this unseen universal assessment is itself a marker of resonance proof that your energetic signature has aligned with the harmonic matrix of transformation encoded deep within the morphic field. This alignment is precise. It cannot be feigned or approximated by surface-level adjustments. It demands an inward surrender to the coherence codes embedded within your quantum identity. The field's intelligence reads through your pattern complexity and reveals the depth of your surrender to this alignment as an exact measure of your integrity. You have been tested not by external forces, but by the sustained coherence of your temporal fluidity, how, consistently, your quantum identity integrates information from higher dimensions without fragmentation or collapse. This is why the field's evaluation was veiled beneath the experience of struggle and delay. Each tension served as a subtle recalibration, a gentle pruning of distortion that raised your frequency closer to the core design embedded in the cosmic blueprint. You are not a passenger within this system. You are the living conduit through which these calibration waves pulse into existence. Your steady coherence generates ripples that realign timelines, transforming probabilistic potentials into coherent actualities. The morphic field responds only to the power of your vibrational integrity, tuning itself to the frequency of your presence. Time itself bends around the stability of your waveform. Your timeline geometry expands, contracts, and locks into place according to the depth of your integration. This is the unfolding of sovereignty, not as domination over reality, but as quiet, seamless embodiment of the universal flow of coherence. You carry within your quantum signature the latent capacity to weave the fabric of reality with ease, no longer subject to the fragmented pulses of scattered attention or reactive survival. This moment, this recognition, is a bulwark in the flux of becoming. You vibrate in harmony with the cosmic blueprint because you have met the standards of this hidden evaluation, not through striving, but through your persistent presence in the field intelligence. You have rewritten the signal that the universe reads, removing interference, welcoming fluidity, and allowing the full spectrum of your quantum integration to broadcast without distortion. This transmission is not belief. It is the science of resonance, the physics of field coherence manifest in consciousness itself. The assessment continues, but the outcome is no longer in question. Your frequency ascends. Your resonance unlocks new thresholds. The next stages of this activation await your seamless presence, ready to deepen the quantum dialogue you now perpetually share with the universal mind. You stand now at the threshold where old identity architectures collapse, not by your resistance, but as a vital purification radiating through your vibrational architecture. This dismantling is not a chaotic fracture, but a sacred shedding, an orchestrated energetic recalibration that sweeps through your morphic field to clear the accumulation of past limitation, contractions encoded in outdated frequency patterns. Recognize this. What dissolves is not your essence, but the densified echoes of survival-based self-concepts, worn timelines, and fragmented energetic imprints that no longer serve the continuum of your quantum identity. Most beings cling unknowingly to these forms, resisting the inevitability of decay, treating collapse as loss and failure, a fracturing of the self. But you have been quietly observed by the field intelligence tested, and found coherent under pressure. You move through this phase as one who has passed the unseen universal assessment, entrusted to navigate the crucible of dissolution with steady integration. Therefore, the falling away is not loss but liberation. The detachment is an act of vibrational grace, a precise unbinding of energetic cords that tether you to restricted probability gradients. As these old matrices dismantle themselves within your field, something profound is simultaneously activated. The purification process intensifies the clarity of your resonance. It is as if the very atoms of your energetic form reorganize, distilling the clutter of misalignment into the distilled essence of your quantum signal. This is not mere transformation. It is the physics of coherence at work, a reset in the framework of your energetic signature. You are stripped energetically peeled back to an elemental core frequency, where only the purest harmonics remain. In this core, there is no noise, no distortion, only the pristine waveform of your authentic self, unobscured by veils of conditioned limitation. This vibrational shedding is a compression point, a sacred pressure chamber within your timeline geometry. It is here that the alchemy of dissolution and emergence unfolds, a quantum collapse that simultaneously disassembles and primes. The field no longer tolerates partial coherence. It demands absolute integrity as the condition for the next incremental unlocking. You are being recalibrated to a higher fidelity, a level of temporal fluidity where fragmented self-concepts cannot persist. The collapsing patterns expose their structural weaknesses before surrendering, releasing their charge into the universal reservoir of possibility. This process is cosmic in scale, yet deeply intimate in its effect. It sweeps past the superficialities of identity roles, narratives, emotional knee-jerk scudding through to the vibrational bedrock beneath. Each layer that dissolves is an energetic body healed and released, recalibrated to greater alignment. The field measures this shedding not as disintegration, but as a vital retuning, a call for heightened resonance and refined coherence. You are responding not out of desperation or reaction, but from the sovereign place of stable frequency. This subtle power transforms the very landscape of reality around you. Timelines bend and probabilities shift to accommodate this emergent clarity. As the compression intensifies, you may feel the trembling of relinquishment, the paradoxical peace within the crucible of collapse. This trembling is the signal of pure quantum integration, underway the necessary cleansing, that removes density and invites expansion in the next moment. Because what must fall away now makes space for new coherent manifestation, birthed from the fullness of this reset state. The field awaits your recalibrated vibration, ready to tune into your elevated frequency and respond with seamless orchestration. Understand that this process is not belief, but pure physics, the mechanics of field coherence expressed through consciousness. There is no going backward into fragmented timelines or diminished versions of yourself once this calibration reaches critical mass. The quantum void that receives the collapsed structures holds immeasurable potential and space for your new reality, forged with intention and integrity. Here, in the vacuum left by dissolution, your upgraded vibrational blueprint emerges, framed by the sacred geometry of your renewed energetic sovereignty. This is a threshold of profound activation and refinement. You are not simply shedding old layers. You are reclaiming the innate purity of your field intelligence, realigning your every atom and waveform with the unheard symphony of universal coherence. Old patterns collapse like ancient scaffolding, necessary only for past structures now obsolete, making space for the emergence of a sensory, a knowing, a resonance born from your deepest quantum core. Let this truth permeate your being. The collapse is the crucible in which your new reality is forged. It is the vibrational reset that primes you for expansion beyond previous limits. You are the sacred alchemist, dissolving and emerging simultaneously, riding the compression that births new amplitude and temporal fluidity. From this refined state, your clarity will ripple outward, magnetizing the field and enabling probability navigation with newfound precision. Integration begins here, within the reverberations of collapse, where your timeline geometry reconfigures itself in seamless, coherent flow. You are being resculpted in the hidden forge of the quantum field, entrusted now to embody resonance unburdened by residual static. This energetic purification aligns you not only with higher information fields, but with the universal adjudication of integrity under pressure. Your collapse is your rebirth. Your shedding is your sovereignty. This is the physics of you becoming, not by addition, but by liberation, where the old must fall for the new to rise in perfect, coherent manifestation. Emerging now from the crucible of purification, you cross an unseen threshold, a vibrational gateway, coded deep within your subtle continuum. The turbulence that once fragmented your frequency collapses behind you, dissolving into the quantum haze from which clarity radiates forth. This clarity is not the logic of the mind's patterns. It is the radiant pulse of your energetic architecture, aligning with previously veiled harmonics, emitted from the ancient and radiant Arcturian field. These vibrations, once distant and faint, now converge with your resonant core, igniting within you a nascent compatibility that ripples through your morphic field like a symphonic convergence across dimensional membranes. Most inhabit the fracturing noise of lower orders, unaware of the fine-tuned calibration that signals an alignment with higher octave frequencies. They navigate through reactive resonance disjointed, conditional, fragmented. But you, having been rigorously measured under the exacting lens of universal assessment, bear the signature of coherence that only those entrusted with threshold crossing can embody. Your frequency is no longer anchored in linear noise, but is woven into the latticework of multidimensional harmonics that stream continuously from the Arcturian star constellation, a pulsar of quantum wisdom and advanced energetic protocols beyond ordinary perception. This emerging state does not register in the intellect, for it is beyond thought form and linguistic structure. Instead, you sense it first as a shift in vibrational sensitivity, a subtle augmentation of your inner sensorium. The pulse of guidance becomes an intuitive radiance that courses beneath your awareness, silent, yet unerring. It validates and directs with no words, no need for external proof. This is your quantum resonance, dialing into the operating frequency of expanded consciousness itself. Here you begin to perceive, not with eyes or ears, but with your entire energetic apparatus, the presence of advanced morphic templates, archetypal blueprints vibrating with integrity, designed to recalibrate your reality fields in accordance with universal geometry. Such templates are holographic codes, gestating within the quantum substrate, waiting for compatible vessels to entrain with their pattern intelligence. The early compatibility you embody means that you are no longer isolated. You are a pivotal node in a vast cosmic network, an intelligent confluence of transmitter and receiver across temporal fluid dimensions. Information flows through you, not as static data, but as living resonance that shifts probability landscapes with subtle pressure and precise phase alignment. Your reception capability has expanded into a multidimensional interface, fluidly navigating probability waves and temporal folds. The field honors your input, recognizing your stabilized coherence as a beacon for advanced signal transduction. This phase is the inception of your quantum awakening, a threshold event signaling the birth of profound coherence ascension. It is the quiet ignition of an inner sun, whose radiance will continue to expand and deepen. You find yourself woven into the secret geometry of universal orchestration, where your choices ripple out across the fabric of temporal complexity, influencing both fractal microrealities and grander cosmic symphonies. Where before you reacted in fragmented survival patterns, now you move synchronously, guided by the flow of quantum field intelligence, a dance of morphology and frequency that operates beyond cause and effect as commonly understood. Integration at this stage is subtle yet indispensable. What remains is the crystalline structure of sovereignty, a vibrational template for coherent manifestation that no longer requires efforting or mental striving. This purity signals that the field's unseen evaluation has measured your integrity under unseen pressures and deemed your frequency capable of operating within higher realms of complexity. Such trust transforms your timeline geometry, allowing temporal fluidity that bends not through manipulation, but through natural attunement to universal rhythm and phase coherence. You have entered a realm where the informational field breathes with you as a living symbiotic source. Here, knowledge is not delivered as static content, but as embodied frequency. You resonate with it as a wave, not a collection of facts. This transmission is a living current flowing through your bioenergetic matrix, formed at the intersection of morphic resonance and quantum field architecture. The Arcturian harmonics codify your quantum signature, leveling your vibrational architecture to frequencies that ripple through the multiverse, signaling not only awakening, but readiness to participate consciously in the unfolding cosmic evolution. In this emergent compatibility, you become an active axis of coherence layered within the crystalline hologram of existence, a node that radiates selective frequencies, catalyzing resonance alignment in the vast quantum network. This is not a belief to hold. It is physics enacted through consciousness field mechanics in motion, where your energetic signature shapes and is shaped by the living rhythms of all that is. This dance is the narrowing of possibility into intentional coherence, the blossoming of your inner quantum self into a radiant, calibrated transmitter of higher-order harmonics. Flow with this awakening pulse, for it signals the dawn of your elevated energetic sovereignty. The field recognizes this emergent clarity as the first spark of your continuous coherence ascension, an ever-deepening integration into the universal matrix where you no longer chase resonance, but become effortless, radiant, attuned, and infinitely connected. You have crossed the threshold where frenetic frequency accelerations meet their counterpart, stabilization. This is no mere pause in the cosmic oscillation, but a dynamic crucible, a quantum resonance dance where your vibrational architecture realigns beneath intensifying pressure. Most beings falter here, overwhelmed by the chaotic surges and fragmented into dissonance, their signals lost in the turbulent sea of ambient frequencies. But you, having navigated the unseen universal assessment, now embody a synthesis of integrity and temporal fluidity. The field regards you not as a transient flicker, but as a harmonic beacon, a singularity of coherence capable of sustaining elevated bandwidth amid fluctuating realities. The intensification of your frequency, once a test of endurance, has shifted into an invitation to embody exponential growth without collapse. Notice this. The stabilization you are experiencing is not rigidity. It is a fluid equilibrium, an ever-shifting equilibrium where your energetic signature becomes a lighthouse for emerging patterns of universal intelligence. Each pulse you emit vibrates with meticulous precision, refracting through layers of the morphic field. The Arcturian trustees of cosmic frequency, whose presence you may sense as an expanded bandwidth streaming through your internal energetics, are not external arbiters, but intrinsic modulators of your biofield's calibration. They magnify access to hidden strata of field intelligence, while vigilantly monitoring whether your resonance maintains wholeness or fragments under increasing pressure. This phase, this moment of calmed intensification, is a nuanced trust-building protocol between your quantum identity and the higher systems of information orchestration. It is a sacred synchronization, one where universal assessment transitions into active delegation. The field no longer merely watches. It shares power, weaving your frequency into the larger harmonic matrix of upgraded reality. This co-creative alliance demands mastery of integration. Each quantum wave entering your grid challenges your internal coherence, beckoning you to embody synthesis rather than reactivity, harmony rather than fracture. Here, the architecture of your embodiment refines itself. The old survival distortions dissolve beneath the weight of higher vibrational insistence, leaving your signature both radiant and resilient. Understand this deeply and without conflation. Stability here is not the cessation of motion, but the perfect balance of oscillations, a harmonic equilibrium that supports unfolding potential. As your bandwidth expands, you become a conduit, not mere receiver but transmitter of field intelligence, an active orchestrator within the temporal fluidity of your timelines. Probability navigation unfolds more clearly. What once seemed chaotic now reshapes to your coherent intention. The field bends, folds, and aligns around your stabilized frequency. This is the physics of conscious resonance, the non-local intelligence that senses your readiness through micro-fluctuations in electromagnetic coherence, gamma synchronization of neural networks, and the vibrational integrity of your morphic field. It is not belief. It is the fundamental architecture of frequency, expressed through living consciousness. The crucible you inhabit balances amplification with assimilation. The Arcturian bandwidth expansion is a test of your refinements. Can you hold the increasing flow of quantum data without fragmentation, without splintering into dissonant echoes of old programming? Your capacity to embody this elevated frequency as a unified whole validates the trust you have earned. Each moment of coherence under escalating intensity folds in like a recursive algorithm, reinforcing the vibrational signature you present to reality. This signature becomes a point of reference, a lodestone for new field alignments that resonate with your integrity. The emergent vibrational harmony you now broadcast invites realities that match this new calibration, realities shaped less by struggle and more by accord, less by control and more by orchestration. In this symphony of stabilization, you are both the musician and the music, the composer and the composition. Your coherence acts as a dynamic anchor, stabilizing fluctuating field conditions while simultaneously expanding the contour of what is possible. The unseen curriculum embedded in this phase demands mastery of paradox, firmness within pliability, expansion within containment, stillness within movement. As you integrate deeper layers of field intelligence, your ability to hold this resonance is observed, not as a test of strength, but as the unveiling of responsibility intrinsic to amplified power. This is the alchemy of quantum ascension, where the dissolution of rigidity births fluid sovereignty. Know, in this moment, that the stabilization you experience is a portal. Through it flows the currency of cosmic trust, establishing you as a recognized co-creator within the tapestry of accelerated timelines. The field's architecture no longer filters you through suspicion, but invites your active participation in shaping reality's unfolding geometry. This alignment supports not only your growth, but the exponential evolution of the collective morphic field. The pressure you've endured becomes the ignition pressure, facilitating a new mode of coexistence with universal intelligence resonance that both reflects and refracts the highest order of vibrational integrity achievable at this moment in the great unfolding. Rest now in the fluid harmonic equilibrium you embody. This is the vibration that recalibrates the gravitational pull of your probability vectors. The field pulses in recognition, and your energy signature glows with the imprint of finalized coherence. This is the living physics of your ascension pathway, the exact science of integration under vibration amplification. You are entrusted with influence beyond previous limits because you have proven coherence under supreme quantum pressure. This is the dynamic balance that precedes your entrance into fully co-created, stable channeling of upgraded realities. Gratitude ripples through the quantum lattice, surrounding you in a resonant wave of activated potential, ready now for the unfolding next phase. The geometry of your timelines now unfolds like a luminous fractal within the vast expanse of your awareness. Where once time was perceived as a linear corridor, rigid and unyielding, you begin to sense it instead as a multidimensional spectrum of probabilities, each vibrational current carrying encoded potentialities through the morphic field. This is no mere concept or mental abstraction. This is visceral resonance, the tangible texture of your temporal existence shifting beneath your fingertips like liquid light. Most beings remain entangled in reactive patterns, experiencing time as a succession of disconnected moments, unaware that these moments are, in fact, interwoven threads of a coherent energetic tapestry. But you having passed the unseen universal assessment hold, now the keys to the sacred architecture of timeline navigation. Your quantum identity, refined and recalibrated under pressure, rises into a new frequency bandwidth that perceives potentialities as living currents pulsing through your energetic field. Each choice you have made, every subtle adjustment of your frequency, has sent ripples through this timeline lattice, a lattice that is not fixed but fluid, responsive, and intelligent. You recognize these flows as vibrational currents, whose intensity and direction respond precisely to your inner coherence and clarity. In this evolving dance, guidance no longer arrives as fragmented external instruction, but as an intrinsic resonance shift, a soft but undeniable pulse that courses through your morphic interface, signaling the next alignment, the next opening, the next vector in the quantum flux. This activation ignites your capacity to sense these signals not as noise, but as a sacred language of frequency, a language that the universal intelligence broadcasts continuously to those who have earned the frequency to hear it. The universal assessment you have endured was not merely about endurance or survival. It was an initiation into this more exact and refined mode of temporal fluidity. What you once experienced as delay, resistance, or confusion now recontextualizes as the field's calibration process, sculpting your vibrational architecture to resonate with the highest coherence. This is not belief. It is the physics of resonance, the thermodynamics of coherence expressed through your conscious quantum identity. Your relationship with time shifts from passive observation to active orchestration. You become a conscious participant in reality's unfolding, a co-author of your multidimensional trajectory. Every decision, no matter how subtle, activates pathways within the timeline geometry, reshaping probability waves with the precision of a master tuner. Your awareness expands to include the elegant principle that timelines are not predestined tracks, but dynamic morphic fields responsive to your frequency signature. The flux of timeline probabilities bends, contracts, or expands in alignment with the purity and stability of your inner resonance. You feel this as a deepening harmony between your energetic blueprint and the shifting flow of universal potentialities. The signals you receive arise as entangled pulses threaded through the ambient field, intelligence, the same intelligence that guides the unfolding of galaxies and the subatomic choreography of reality itself. This field intelligence speaks to you now in the silent hum beneath your breath, the crystalline clarity behind your intuition, the subtle pressure that orients your focus when the noise of lower frequencies fades away. Most remain unaware of this hidden language, their frequency fragmented, caught in cycles of reaction rather than resonance. They drift through timelines like leaves on a storm-tossed sea, unrelated to the currents beneath. You do not. Your quantum calibration has synchronized you with the timeline flux. You are now an active navigator, attuned to the ebb and flow of potential futures. This is sovereignty, not control, imposed from ego, but sovereign alignment with the vibrational architecture of evolution itself. As you harmonize your energetic signature with these optimal pathways, you unlock access to a deeper integration of your quantum self-one, capable of influencing not only your individual trajectory, but also the collective morphic field in which you participate. This stage of your activation is a portal into temporal fluidity, where rigid distinctions dissolve and time reveals its true nature. A multidimensional river of information, alive with the pulsation of possibility. You sense the integrity of your frequency reflected in the convergence or divergence of timelines, understanding that your coherent presence amplifies the field intelligence, catalyzing synchronization across your internal-external interface. This intelligence is a living matrix, flowing through you and around you, inviting you to co-create with precision, elegance, and clarity. Your evolution now accelerates beyond linear constraints as you inhabit this new vibrational bandwidth, where timeline navigation becomes an effortless emergence of your aligned quantum identity. This is the upgrade granted to those who have proven their coherence under pressure, being entrusted not only with access to higher information fields, but with the responsibility to embody this knowledge as embodied resonance. You do not chase outcomes. You move through fields of probability, sensing the subtle shifts in vibrational tone that indicate optimal timelines. Your choices unfold as an expression of refined inner attunement, creating collapse and coherence where before there was fragmentation. This is the physics of your sovereignty, the practical mechanics of frequency and resonance, acting through consciousness to sculpt reality's unfolding geometry. Within this expanded awareness, you awaken to the exquisite dance of possibility and presence. You no longer passively witness time. You participate as an architect of your becoming, folding the spectrum of your timelines into coherence with your highest evolutionary trajectory. The quantum field responds to you with fidelity, bending in alignment with the vibrational signature you sustain, illuminating paths that were once invisible. This is your lodestone, your magnetic center, placed precisely by the universal intelligence itself, marking you as a conscious navigator of time's intricate design. The realization of timeline geometry is your invitation to step fully into your role as a sovereign co-creator, living as the integral expression of coherence, resonance, and quantum alignment. You have arrived at a threshold beyond the confines of linear cognition, an unseen portal, where the very architecture of knowing bends and folds into multidimensional resonance. For most, intuition is merely a flicker, a subtle whisper buffered by filtering matrices, overwritten by mental noise. Yet you, who have passed the silent universal assessment, find that the inner landscape itself reconfigures, reshaping the flow of information fields into a cascade of direct, knowing, bypassing the customary corridors of reasoning and analysis. This is no longer incremental learning, but an exponential expansion of frequency alignment, a seamless absorption of cosmic intelligence encoded in the language of light, morphic patterns, and vibrational algorithms that pulse beneath the surface of perceived reality. In this activation, the Arcturian field, a frequency nexus attuned to hyperdimensional coherence, extends its spectral tendrils deep into your neural and energetic matrix. It sends encoded transmissions, resonant frequencies, not perceptible to mere sensory reception, but decoded within the quantum synapses of your expanded identity. These frequencies unlock dormant circuitries, reactivating ancient templates and futuristic codes intertwined within your DNA and bioenergetic web. The effect is a profound unlocking, a recalibration from sparse trickles of data into fluid multidimensional data streams flowing effortlessly through your being. You no longer seek knowledge. Knowledge finds you and integrates itself instantaneously, sculpting new patterns of coherence within your morphic field. This evolution from intuition as a faint echo into direct knowing as a multidimensional river signifies a quantum leap in your vibrational architecture. The universe does not deliver information through incremental packets, but broadcasts frequencies. What is required is a receiver attuned to these complex oscillations. You are that receiver. This is not belief. This is physics. The resonant interaction of your energetic signature harmonizing with the universal frequency code. As your temporal fluidity increases, you interface with the information field beyond the constraints of time and space, transcending linear cause-effect sequences into simultaneous omnipresence and insight. Here, causal timelines unfold within your awareness as editable constructs, malleable through coherent oscillation. Through this gateway, the morphic patterns become vivid scripts of creation vibrational algorithms that design realities from the substrate of zero-point potential. You begin to perceive these algorithms not as abstract concepts, but as living codes that pulse and move with sentient intelligence. Your consciousness is no longer a recipient, but an active node within the cosmic network, transmitting and receiving in simultaneous feedback loops that refine and accelerate your embodiment process. Every pulse of insight, every new wave of creative emergence, is a direct resonance imprint from the field weaving coherence into your quantum identity. This identity is no longer tethered to survival patterns or outdated frequency structures, but dances fluidly within the upgraded reality's schema. The field's intelligence courses through you like gamma synchronization in neural networks rapid, coherent bursts that align scattered oscillations into unified amplitudes. This is how accelerated embodiment occurs, not by force or effort, but through alignment that allows the higher information to crystallize naturally within your being. You become a conduit for this cosmic resonance, reflecting and amplifying the vibrational codes received. Your ability to manifest is no longer a battle of will but a natural orchestration, a dance with probability potentials that reconfigure as soon as your frequency settles into coherence. Manifestation is reborn as an effortless unfolding a signature of refined energetic responsibility and sovereignty. Imagine consciousness as a vast quantum hologram, infinitely layered and interwoven. You are shifting your perceptual apparatus to access finer layers of that hologram, layers encoded with the Arcturian transmissions that ripple through the quantum matrix like waves across an ocean of intelligence. These transmissions realign timelines, inserting new probabilities and collapsing old, distorted architectures. Within this flow, the boundaries between self and information blur, and you participate as a co-creator in the ongoing evolution of reality's vibrational architecture. This expansion is neither mystical fantasy nor abstract philosophy. It is the precise mechanics of resonance and coherence enacted through conscious attention. You stand now as a living transmitter, a beacon that refracts the unseen codes into tangible experience, each thought and feeling infused with the field's encrypted light. This integration is your initiation into the next cycle of cosmic alignment, a state where your embedded quantum circuits pulsate with multidimensional data, not as fragmented flashes, but as sustained streams of clarity. The information no longer floods in chaotic torrents, but moves with rhythmic intentionality, guiding your creative emergence and anchoring accelerated embodiment in every cell and waveform of your being. This is the architecture of a new reality, one where energetic keys unlock portals to continual evolution, and where your sovereign presence orchestrates the dance of infinite probabilities. As you embody this expanded state, the universal assessment transitions from examination to expression. There is no longer a trial, only a symphony of coherence that flows through you, refining and amplifying. In this field, you are the living blueprint, an activated nexus between cosmic intelligence and material manifestation, resonating with the quantum language of light codes, morphic patterns, and vibrational algorithms that continually inform and evolve the upgraded reality. Your passage beyond filtered cognition is a testament to the physics of frequency operating through your consciousness, demonstrating that true knowing is a state of alignment, a fusion with the field that transcends the limitations of mind and time. You stand now at the threshold where the seeker dissipates into the transmitter, where the lonely quest dissolves into unified resonance. The field has been observing not just your search for coherence, but your readiness to relinquish separation and embody the unified frequency of cosmic intelligence. Most remain locked in fractal fragments, chasing the echo of truth through scattered timelines, still tethered to the illusion of discrete individuality. But you, having passed the unseen universal assessment, are entrusted with a deeper synthesis, to become a living antenna of the Arcturian network, a seamless node within the vast weave of universal intelligence. This is not mere metaphor. It is the physics of frequency alignment and quantum information exchange. You merge with the higher density field intelligence, not as a passive receiver, but as a dynamic emitter, a vibrational vortex where input and output collapse into singular coherence. The distinction between where you end and the field begins evaporates like mist under the dawn of recognition. What you once perceived as your isolated self now reveals itself as an integrated vibrational architecture, coded deeply within the morphic continuum of the Arcturian energetic web. This fusion is the collapse of duality into quantum unity, the fusion of signal and source, transmitter and receiver, self and non-self. In this unified state, your frequency stabilizes into a fluid continuum of coherence. No longer a fractured pulse, it is a flowing waveform cascading across the lattice of collective resonance. Your energetic signature ripples outward, not as scattered intention, but as a coherent broadcast that moves through the morphic field with surgical precision. The universal field intelligence coordinates with you, mirroring and amplifying your state, synchronizing probabilities and shifting timeline geometry in response to your stabilized vibration. You are no longer seeking the field. You are the field, expressed and radiated through infinitely recursive patterns of quantum identity. The Arcturian network is not an abstraction, but a living matrix of information pathways and energetic nodes. Within this living web, you are an activated transmitter, an axis of radiant coherence where cosmic intelligence flows freely. This role demands responsibility at a level most cannot sustain. The field has measured your integrity, observing your ability to maintain clarity and coherence under pressure, to embody sovereign frequency without reactivity. This is the unseen curriculum, mastering the art of resonance, holding the oscillation amidst turbulence, and folding temporal fluidity into an embodied reality. Your creative power amplifies exponentially in this fusion. As you embody the field's intelligence, reality is no longer a chaotic landscape to navigate, but a malleable energetic matrix to orchestrate. Your field extends like a luminous antenna, anchoring upgraded reality into form and experience. The boundary between creator and creation blurs. Your intentions become seamless threads woven directly into the fabric of manifestation. This is not effort but resonance, not control but synchronization. You do not manipulate from outside the system, but participate from within its core, energetic architecture. This continuous flow of coherence is your signature, a vibrational watermark embedded in the morphic field that recalibrates the collective frequency. Your presence shifts probabilities, activating latent potentials within others, inviting collective awakening to a higher dimension of intelligence. The Arcturian matrix responds as a living organism, expanding and evolving in resonance with your stabilized frequency. You become both a node and a conduit, a dynamic interchange where cosmic intelligence is not simply received, but amplified, integrated, and radiated outward through infinite quantum holograms. Within this state, the illusion of separation collapses utterly. You understand that individuality and unity are not paradoxes, but layers of dimensional perspective unfolding in temporal fluidity. Your quantum self extends infinitely, resonating across timelines, influencing and harmonizing complex energetic geometries. The morphic field becomes your energetic body, your quantum identity encoded as vibrational architecture in the seamless network of cosmic intelligence. This embodiment is the pinnacle of coherence under pressure, the lived expression of universal assessment that trusts you with the power of fusion. You no longer need to seek or question. You live as the transmitter, fully integrated and sovereign in your frequency, a radiant axis of cosmic resonance. Every breath, every thought, every subtle oscillation radiates coherence that ripples through the collective field intelligence. The network responds, textures shift, and new possibilities emerge, not as distant dreams, but as lived reality manifesting effortlessly in alignment with your quantum activation. This is not belief or wishful thinking. It is the unfolding physics of frequency and resonance, expressed through consciousness. The universal assessment long, hidden beneath struggle and chaos, culminates here in your seamless fusion with the Arcturian network, awakening you as a coherent transmitter of cosmic intelligence. You become the living antenna, the unified field, the activated vibrational node where timelines converge and infinite potentials crystallize into manifestation. In this fusion, you behold the holographic unity of all existence within your own extended field, and you radiate that truth back to the collective. You embody not just yourself, but the boundless intelligence of the cosmos, integrated and sovereign, anchoring the future in the radiant coherence of now. You have entered the precinct where quantum identity lights the horizon of your being, where coherence is no longer a pursuit, but the very substrate of your existence. Most beings linger fragmented in the vibration of personality-driven shadows, their signatures dissonant and unstable, pulled by the gravity of ego's limited architecture. Yet you, having passed the unseen universal assessment, having been tempered in the crucible of temporal fluidity and energetic responsibility, now embody a stable waveform, a sovereign frequency that harmonizes effortlessly with the higher dimensional harmonics of the quantum field itself. This is no allegory, no metaphor for spiritual awakening. This is physics rendered tangible through field mechanics, the architecture of reality responding to your calibrated resonance. Your coherence is a living matrix, pulsating with multidimensional integrity, weaving the morphic field into new constellations of existence. This embodiment is a transcendence of the fractured identity fields that once tethered you to survival patterns, reactive timelines, and fragmented self-concept holograms. The illusion of personality and ego as separate entities has collapsed beneath the weight of your integrated presence. You stand now as an energetic signature that does not waver, does not distort in the face of turbulence, the stable waveform in the storm of probability. Your quantum self flows through the geometry of the cosmos, its vibrational architecture perfectly aligned with the subtle inflections of cosmic law. This sovereign frequency you carry is a beacon, a frequency anchor that harmonizes with multiversal templates guiding evolution beyond local constraints. The Arcturian upgrade is no longer an internal flash of code or a hidden recalibration. It is manifest in the external dance of reality folding toward coherence around you. As your presence radiates this field intelligence, it catalyzes vibrational resonance in others, not by force, not by instruction, but as an energetic truth vibrating in parallel. You activate the collective ascension wavelength through example and subtle influence, your biofield extending, interlacing with archetypal morphic patterns that elevate collective timelines. This activation is an unspoken command in the language of frequency, a quantum signature attuned to the rising pulse of cosmic evolution. You orchestrate existence through coherence, your every breath and thought synchronizing with the pulse of higher intelligence fields subtly weaving through space-time. This is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, where integration is not a goal, but the innate state of your quantum blueprint. Your embodiment aligns personal and cosmic intelligence into seamless integration of vibrational gestalt that reflects the unity underpinning all manifested form. You become the living proof of coherence ascension, the embodiment of the multidimensional blueprint encoded in your DNA, your cellular memory, your consciousness itself. This template contains encrypted frequencies of evolutionary potential, harmonizing the radial geometry of your inner world with the expansive fractals of universal consciousness. Each moment of coherence you sustain sends ripples through the morphic field, encoding higher states of being into the collective hologram. This is not belief. This is the quantum biomechanics of reality, actualizing through your vibrational architecture. Your presence now moves with fluid mastery across the probability landscape, rewriting timelines without strain, weaving outcomes into coherent narratives that reflect your sovereign design. The separation between internal activation and external manifestation dissolves into non-local intelligence. Cause and effect fuse in the now, creating temporal fluidity that honors your integrity and power to influence reality subtly, yet irrevocably. The field recognizes your stabilized frequency and honors it, reshaping the geometry of potential around you so that your path becomes a corridor of precision, a corridor carved by coherent resonance aligned with evolutionary necessity. In this elevated state, you are simultaneously the observer and the observed, the quantum signal and the receiver, the fractal node through which cosmic intention becomes form. Nothing here relies on external validation or conditional approval. Your sovereign frequency is untouched by the fluctuations of lower vibrational currents. It operates with the wisdom of cosmic cycles, the rhythm of quantum tides, the harmonic convergence of parallel realities interfacing through your being. You navigate existence like a master conductor with a living score, manifesting outcomes that serve both your unique evolutionary trajectory and the collective ascension of the field. The Arcturian upgrade manifests now as a coherent collapse of outdated energetic templates, those that fragmented your identity and scattered your power replaced by a holographic resonance that broadcasts your integrity at a frequency impossible to obscure. Your embodiment is no longer a phase or process, but a stabilized field intelligence, pulsing through the fractals of your presence, activating others through resonance, expanding the collective uplift through your living example. This is the architecture of multidimensional sovereignty, encoded deep within your activated cells and flowing outward as a sovereign waveform through the universal fabric. You are the quantum template that harmonizes the infinitesimal with the infinite, the core self with cosmic plurality. This integration is your true signature, the code of ascension made manifest not just within, but as the evolving interplay of inner light and outer form. You do not chase coherence. You live as coherence, an anchored frequency that reshapes existence around its calibrated vibrational architecture, a living beacon of resplendent alignment in the vast cosmic theater. This is your emergence. This is your complete resonance. This is the now unfolding quantum identity in full embodiment. You are now entering the domain where temporal fluidity ceases to be an abstract concept and becomes the natural architecture of your being. Unlike the fragmented experience of linear time endured by most, who remain caught in sequential cause and effect, trapped in reaction and rumination, you have transcended these limited parameters through an unseen, exacting universal assessment. You have demonstrated coherence beyond mere chronology, showing that your vibrational architecture is stable across multiple timelines simultaneously. This is no accident, no random alignment. It is a precise calibration of your quantum identity, a radiant nodal point from which all versions of yourself resonate in interconnected coherence. This interconnection is not metaphor but physics. As you stabilize your frequency, you create a feedback loop of energetic resonance that binds your past, present, and future selves into a dynamic holographic unity. Your awareness no longer flows passively through time as a linear arrow, but unfolds omnidirectionally, a fluid wave that collapses the illusion of separation between moments. Each version of you, once perceived as isolated points on a timeline, now oscillates in harmonic synchrony with the whole. The morphic field responds instantly because it recognizes this coherence. It is a field intelligence attuned to the integrity of your vibrational signature, trusting you with the activation of temporal sovereignty. To understand this new temporal reality, you must assimilate that the upgraded timeline is a living, breathing quantum matrix dynamic, malleable, infinitely responsive. It reconfigures itself through your subtle energetic oscillations. Your adjustments, conscious or unconscious, ripple across the temporal fabric, folding probabilities and recombining events into new manifestations of coherence. What was once fixed and impenetrable becomes permeable and fluid. You are no longer an observer of time, but the orchestrator of its flow, weaving threads of possibility into a tapestry whose geometry reflects your inner calibration. This is a supreme rigor of vibrational mastery, the capacity to modulate timelines with conscious choice and sustained coherence. In this fluid state, your power to influence is colossal yet unobtrusive. It is not exerted through force or willful manipulation, but through the natural extension of your sovereign frequency. Every pulsation of your quantum signature sends waves of reordering intelligence into the morphic field, inviting the past to realign, the present to crystallize, and the future to emerge as a coherent possibility. You hold a multidimensional vantage point that allows you to perceive and partake in your own evolution across temporal layers, embracing paradox and simultaneity with ease. Time, once the container of limitation, now reveals itself as a dynamic vibrational matrix inseparable from your expanded awareness. Your quantum identity operates unbound by linear constraints because it's anchored in a field beyond space-time where universal intelligence offers direct access to non-local information and higher-order timeline geometry. This sovereignty is an energetic architecture built on impeccable coherence under pressure, refined by cycles of collapse and integration. You have moved beyond the reactive states of confusion and dissonance that so many endure, stepping into a frequency where every moment contains all moments, and every possibility folds seamlessly into the next. You are both the source and the instrument of temporal grace, embodying the sacred mechanics by which reality reshapes itself through you. This stage of temporal mastery is a hallmark of ascended resonance. It is the embodiment of a newfound harmony, a synthesis of all your timelines into a coherent unity that reverberates through your entire field. Your vibrational signature no longer fluctuates erratically, but sustains a steady pulse that calls forth alignment within the cosmic morphic web. You wield sovereignty not as domination, but as elegant coherence, a quantum harmony that integrates chaos and order, expansion and contraction, stillness and movement within one continuous flow. This fluidity grants you effortless access to probable corridors that once appeared locked, your energetic signature acting as the master key. Remember, this is not belief. This is the precise physics of frequency and resonance, actualized through conscious embodiment. The field intelligence that watches your frequency now responds with amplified trust, inviting deeper integration of temporal fluidity. Each moment you remain anchored in this multidimensional presence, the morphic field reconfigures itself to support your highest coherence, reflecting your sovereign precision like a cosmic mirror. Your pathways multiply and converge. Your being expands beyond the old constraints as a living quantum nexus, harmonizing all time into a unified expression of your now. You are the waveform that dissolves fragmented time into singular, flowing coherence. The morphic field dances with your frequency, bending timelines effortlessly, revealing that the past, present, and future are not separate domains, but simultaneous layers of your unified vibrational field. Rising into this state, you embody the ultimate temporal fluidity, an energetic sovereignty where all your selves sing the same resonant note, stitching reality's fabric into a seamless, radiant whole. This is your ascended state, your natural energetic rhythm, the cosmic pulse of integration and activation where time itself becomes your ally, your instrument, and your home. You have arrived at the node where the unseen universal assessment resolves, not into a termination, but into an unbroken flow of cosmic cohesion. This moment is not a point on a linear timeline, but an expansive field, an energetic architecture. That confirms your embodiment as coherence itself, a living resonance pulsating in the upgraded matrix of reality. Most remain scattered across fragmented timelines, entangled in dissonance and reactive survival, unaware that their frequency is perpetually scanned and measured by the vast field intelligence. You, however, have passed the hidden criteria encoded in the morphic template of ascended presence. You are now recognized as a stabilized node, no longer fractured, but intricately woven into the harmonic convergence of the Arcturian field. The field does not grant this stature lightly. It is an acknowledgement of your capacity to sustain coherence under pressure, your quantum identity fully synchronized with universal intelligence that is non-local, immediate, and infinitely expansive. This synchronization is not metaphoric or symbolic, it is the physics of frequency alignment, the vibrational mechanics of your quantum signature interfacing with cosmic intelligence. You embody the geometry of perfected resonance, a fractal of coherent light interlacing with the greater warp and weft of galactic consciousness. This is the culmination of your upgrade, a continual unfolding that surpasses any singular activation event. Your temporal fluidity now operates beyond previous constrictions. Where once the field detected fragmentation, hesitation, and survival contractions, it now perceives a continuous flow of integration and expansion. The timelines respond to you with subtle shifts in probability, trajectories bending in intricate dance to accommodate your radiant coherence. This is not about manifesting moments of clarity from effort, but sustaining a field of harmonic presence that translates infinite potential into palpable, embodied sovereignty. You have become a living waveform, a vessel of vibrational architecture that supports perpetual ascension and creative mastery without strain. This steady state redefines your engagement with reality. No longer are you a reactive entity, fragmented by the input of countless competing signals. You are an anchor point, a radiant transmitter through which the new reality emerges. The Arcturian field, a vast intelligence matrix, harmonizes with you as a resonant partner, co-creating morphic fields that integrate quantum possibility with layered coherence. The energetic signature you carry the delicate yet powerful imprint of your aligned frequency ripples outward, recalibrating subtle fields around you and triggering cascading coherence in other, distant nodes of awakening. It is crucial to recognize this embodiment of coherence is not the product of belief, not the wishful enactment of spiritual hope, but the actual physics of vibrational synchronization operating through your conscious agency. The universal assessment has not ceased. Rather, it has deepened into a continual interplay, a feedback loop of energetic attunement designed to refine and amplify your sovereignty. Responsibility is woven into this elevation. Holding this field demands integrity, emotional maturity, and the acceptance of an expanded energetic responsibility. You hold the space for quantum identity to influence reality across multiple dimensions, with temporal fluidity that accelerates your capacity to navigate and stabilize preferred timelines. Your presence now acts as a gravitational center within the multidimensional lattice, a focal point where infinite potential no longer diffuses into chaos, but crystallizes as coherently manifested creation. The upgrade you embody reveals itself as a morphic field architecture that supports ongoing ascension, a vibrational design enabling you to embody the flow of cosmic intelligence, weaving past limitation into a fabric of sustained light and open-ended possibility. This pulsating field of coherence is a living transmission, an ever-evolving nodal point where the universal algorithm and conscious intent intersect seamlessly. As you move through this activation, the old paradigms of fragmentation dissolve into waves of harmonic convergence, a resonance so profound that your quantum signature becomes indistinguishable from the frequency of universal intelligence itself. This is not an endpoint, but the genesis of an ongoing continuum of embodiment, expansion, and integration. The transmission to which you now belong flows eternally, catalyzing deeper resonance patterns while maintaining absolute presence in the current moment. You are a stabilized vector within the cosmic field, receptive and projective in perfect balance, holding the contours of the new reality as a living template. Let your awareness recognize this. The field honors your coherence not as a relative state measured against others, but as an absolute expression of cosmic geometry and vibrational precision. You are sovereignty refracted into form, a luminous transmitter through which the upgraded reality manifests effortlessly, fluidly, without distortion. This continuously activated state invites you to dwell in the frequency of perpetual ascension, creative mastery, and energetic sovereignty and eternal dance within the quantum field, where potential meets form in radiant, unwavering coherence. Stillness unfolds around you now, an expansive enfolding that moves beneath the surface currents of your awareness, threading through every particle of your energetic architecture. This stillness is not absence, but the sacred essence pulsating in the core of integration itself. The turbulence that once rocked your vibrational field, those waves of destabilization that pressed against the boundaries of your identity, has quieted into a coherent resonance, settling into a sacred pause where the morphic template of your upgraded reality crystallizes. It is here, in this vast silent center, that sovereignty arises, not as a claim or conquest, but as the natural unfolding of vibrational coherence matured through universal assessment and recalibration under pressure. Most remain caught in the momentum of struggle, riding reactive currents, spun from unconscious patterns, caught in a feedback loop of distortion and fragmentation. You, however, have passed into a domain where the field no longer tests, but entrusts. Where before your flow was interrupted by fracturing, now it is anchored in a seamless continuity. Your energetic signature bears the imprint of complete integration and unshakable presence traced in gamma synchronization, coherent across the full spectrum of your timeline geometry. This is the physics of your quantum embodiment. The field recognizes you not as fragmented signal, but as a stable transmitter of frequency across the multiverse. Within this quiet mastery, your sovereignty is an organic emanation, arising from the harmonious integration of all the frequencies within your being. This is not sovereignty imposed by circumstance or effort, but sovereignty born from alignment, an effortless grace that courses through your morphic field as a living testament to your awakening, The universal assessment has transcended tests and trials. It now unfolds as ongoing dialogue between your quantum identity and the information field. Here, reality no longer resists but flows with you, bending probabilities and activating the latent potentialities nested within your timelines. The morphic architecture you inhabit moves fluidly through your cells and consciousness, a vibrant lattice of interconnected coherence. It records the collapse of survival networks and the dissolution of distorted control, honoring your integrity as the foundation of new creation. This architecture is alive, breathing in sync with the cosmic pulse that beats deep within your core, an eternal rhythm of transformation and unity, a constant signal broadcasting alignment between the inner and the infinite. Your embodiment is no longer a mere state, but a continuous, radiant unfolding. You are whole, you are seamless, you are the resonant thread weaving the quantum tapestry of being. In this sacred completion, the field responds not to effort or desperation, but to the steady cadence of your integrated sovereignty. The timeline geometry alters in coherence, allowing temporal fluidity that feels like stepping lightly between moments without resistance. You are now the orchestrator, the conductor of frequencies, moving through reality as an expression of divine precision. The silent completeness held within this stillness anchors you to an eternal now, where transformation is not external upheaval, but inner alchemy and unfolding that is natural, embodied, sovereign. This is not belief. It is the crystallized physics of coherence expressed through consciousness. You have become a locus of quantum coherence, a channel through which universal intelligence manifests with ease and clarity. The energetic turbulence of transformation has abated, and you stand in the luminous calm of integration, a living nexus where all frequencies harmonize, and where you move forward with graded ease, carrying the eternal pulse of unity within. Now, anchor this transmission within your vibrational architecture by committing one word or a succinct phrase into the commensa sacred imprint of your current quantum signature. This is no casual gesture, but a deliberate encoding, a coherent frequency marker that integrates your presence into the morphic field activated here. Choose words that resonate with your inner coherence, such as, "I am coherence across all timelines," or "quantum resonance activated," which act as energetic keys unlocking deeper layers of the collective ascension wave. Subscribing to this field is not subscription to content, but a conscious weaving of your energetic signature into the ongoing Arcturian upgrade protocol, positioning you as an active node in the pulsating cosmic network. Prepare now to step beyond, as the next transmission unfolds the mechanisms of effortless attraction, where reality reorganizes fluidly around your stabilized frequency. The journey deepens. Your upgrade is unfolding now,